Should we do the revision?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
or no? Yes. So kai what we all did? First. काय एक एक points टाका तुमच्या मनात जे येतील ते. Put all the points in front of me. What you all studied, what hit you, what you are forgetting. Do you want me to highlight on certain points?
You had told about power shifts, reverse innovations,
Inclusive
then,
to exclusive, social connections.
yeah, along with that, digital marketing's influentials, co-creations of customers.
Okay. Examples, are you understanding with the examples?
Yeah, you had given example of hotels also along with it.
Yeah.
2 companies you had given examples for it. Big
Okay.
companies.
Okay. What else you require in that? Are you understanding? Did you follow all the paradoxes of marketing? Guys, repeat करायचे paradoxes. येणारा प्रश्न त्याच्यावर. I can't hear you because you are all on mute. So when you want to speak, you let me unmute it, please. Did you follow all the myths and
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
paradoxes?
Yes, ma'am. We can take a quick recap on that.
Paradoxes? 4 paradoxes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
See, a situation or a statement that seems impossible together is a paradox, right? You followed what is a paradox? पहिल्यांदा paradox चा अर्थ कळला का? See, I can't see your faces, so I don't know whether you are following me or not. That is the biggest problem. Yes or no?
Ma'am, paradox is a kind of statement. It seems one side is good and other side is not true, like that.
Correct. तर ते paradoxes कुठले मार्केटिंगचे? कुठले? तर ते कुठले विचारते. They are one first connected customers are independent yet interconnected. Correct? Here the customer has आता independent पण आहेत. They are independent and still they are interconnected. How? So why? Because the customer has a good knowledge about the market, has good knowledge about the products, right? All of you are savvy with new products in the market. You check on the site, you go here, there, ask your friends. So that's why you are independent in that. Okay. But still you rely on the connected consumers and brand voices to bolster the, what you can say, their independence. So first they research. So first you are researching on the site. So that is the independent phase of yours. Then there is a research on online reviews and comments. And then you believe about that product and the services. So that is the interdependentness. That is the interconnectedness, right? So connected customers are independent, yet they are interconnected. Did you follow? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, connected customers are idealistic yet discriminating. How come like this? Idealistic असेल तर discriminating कसं असू शकतं? But they are still. How? There is a transparency between brands and consumers. बरोबर? Whatever if I am promoting a brand, I have to be authentic with that brand. I have to be authentic with whatever services and features which I am promoting has to be there and has to be featured in that product. So there is a transparency between brands and consumers because of the social media. Sometimes consumers are increasingly skeptical of brands' authenticity. So many times brands say something and actually the features are different. So they are quick to spot, the consumers are quick to spot the mismatches between the brand's claimed values and actual use benefits. Agreed? So connected customers are idealistic yet discriminating. Followed? Next. Consumers are digitally primed. Consumers are digitally primed yet highly hands-on. What does this statement means? That no one disputes the fact that connected consumers are thinking digital first. But in person, shopping is still going on strong. In fact, Retail Dive reported major growth in store concepts throughout 2018 with mega brands including IKEA, including Barnes and Noble, announcing smaller scales and stores and e-commerce sites. So connected consumers are also rewarding retailers that they integrate their business with the customers digitally as well as offline. Did you get my point? Follow? So that is about the connected consumers are digitally prime yet hands-on. Brands that are marketing to get what you can say, what you can say, कुठे गेलं माझं? Connected consumers are digitally prime yet hands-on. Then connected consumers are active drivers yet lack confidence in choice. Why? I'm active driver, I'm continuously online, yet I lack confidence. Why? Yet I lack confidence. Why? This is our final paradox. Our final paradox in the consumers are not passive but are active drivers. The unlimited paradox we learned is the paradox of choice. Is the paradox of choice. The more choice we have, the more haunted we feel by the prospect of making the wrong choice. With more choices we carry mixed feelings, we are overwhelmed with. We are overwhelmed with anxiety. We develop lack of confidence, whether I'm going to select the good brand or no, or whether this dress is good or that dress is good. My God, there is so much of variety in it. Which should I go for? So lack of decision making. Oh, my friend is telling me buy this, but I have liked that. So influenced by friends, by family, by colleagues. So connected customers are active drivers yet lack confidence in choice. Brands that are making to connect consumers today must both respect the power consumers have over their own purchasing journey while catering their needs for reassurance and support. That is through easy returns of instant chat based access to consumer assistance. Agreed, all of you? Now
Yes,
we will come to the myths. Breaking the myths of connectivity. Now breaking the myths of connectivity मध्ये काय आहे? Mobile connectivity is the basic connectivity, level of connectivity. What next comes? The experimental connectivity. Experimental connectivity, what happens in that? In which internet is used for superior services. And what is the ultimate level? Ultimate level is the social connectivity. Social connectivity is which connecting with consumers, connecting with the community, connecting with the entire social environment. So a big challenge with KitKat, I have given you the example, right? Have a smile, have a KitKat are still consistent for a long time. Why is it still consistent? Because they have made that this thing, the core 4-layer bar of chocolate and wafer, the iconic packaging, the iconic logo, the have a smile, have a KitKat are still consistent for a long time. So what has rapidly changed is the way the brand engages with consumers to bring proposition to life. When and where they are receptive based on the deep understanding of how the target consumers are living their lives. So they are doing the research. So now breaking the myths of connectivity, which we did, yes, the myths which are there are as follows. We did first 5 myths, right? And now we are doing the remaining myths. quick revision on the first 5 myths. Participating in events that require face-to-face time should be given to your marketing because it's your bread and butter. Consumer wants to know your practice online, and it is here where you can offer a connection that can offer a bonding that can be reinforced in every post, in every blog, and every touch point along the branding. Digital marketing is a quick fix. Digital marketing is a quick fix. If you just redid your website and you feel that my results should be immediate, it is not going to be. You have to take multiple efforts to spread across various channels, and you have to be in continual touch with consumers to increase the engagement. So the engagement which is there needs to be, constant. Invest in meeting the marketing research team, talk about the data wins, how I can increase more data, what you can say, customers, new opportunities and progress across channels. So you have to invest wisely. The less you invest, the less you get. It will take you to get the results less. Results take time, and money is very necessary in that because there is no way out of it. So digital marketing is a quick fix, is a myth. A pretty website is necessary. What I had told you last time, a bad website is likely to be worse than having a no website. It's better. Bad website, I better don't have a bad website. I better have no website at all. Your website should have what I had told. Your website should have powerful slogans. Your website should have good color schemes, strong colors, vibrant images, and proper story. Then take the user experience into account by ensuring your site is user friendly. Then ask these questions. If it's a medical, I had given you the examples of a medical website. If it's a medical website, does the site have good speed, and is it working correctly? Is it working well on mobile phones? Because everybody works on mobile phones nowadays. Can someone figure out how can we assist the consumer quickly? Are your social sites listed and linked to from your home page? Do you have a built out content library with consumer friendly blogs compiled with helpful statistics, powerful stories, rich provider profiles, and solid information based by experts? And solid information which are based and backed by experts. So do you have those things? Ask these questions. Next was blog posts are a waste of time and marketing budget. Now, what does this mean? Building a blog on your website can be cumbersome, can be really very, very, what you can say, with lot much of paraphernalia. If you are relying on your administration team to write in their spare time, okay, when you get a spare time, you write something on my blog. And if you tell a doctor to write their comments, you forget it because he is so busy in his clinic. You will forget that. So you have to be really, what you can do, you have to put essential information that is supportive, helpful, and timely, while also remembering what is required and how the story sells. Next is, what is the one? Your website should focus on your abilities. It is important that you should focus on your core concept. What is the core thing which is required? So you should have a strong, as I said before, the story for that. Now we will come on the sixth myth, that is online advertisements doesn't work. Is it?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, myth 3 and myth 5 is quite similar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blog posts are waste of time and marketing budget. What does that mean? Building a blog on your website can be, bol, myth hai.
Myth 3 and 5.
Mit, a pretty website is necessary.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
will focus
Yeah.
on
And exactly in pretty website, same your character of the advertisement, your code, your branding has to be really strong. So pretty website is just not necessary, which I said. की मी फक्त छान केले पण माझा message of the voice is different, the story is different, and the picture is different. No, it has to be related with everything. So your website should focus on your abilities also. Agreed?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
are your abilities? What is the goal?
Mhm.
What is the objective? That needs to be defined very carefully.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
get it?
Yes, ma'am.
नुसतं प्रिटी वेबसाईट नको आहे आपल्याला तिकडे बनवली सुंदर.
Mhm.
ओके, जसं कुठल्या कॉलेजची नुसती प्रिटी वेबसाईट बनवली आहे पण तिथे लेक्चर्सच होत नसतील तर काय उपयोग.
बरोबर.
ऍबिलिटीज काय आहेत त्या, तुमचे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह काय आहेत, तुमचे गोल्स काय आहेत, दॅट
Product,
ऑल्सो
service.
डिफाईन.
Yes, ma'am.
The story has to be strong because people go on the story, right? So followed everybody. Now we will go on the sixth one. That is online advertising doesn't work. You have started with paid ads to gain momentum in these pursuits. So there comes a point where you want organic traffic to build and exceed paid ad traffic, so you can redirect marketing funds from ads to new projects. So remember, the point is not to reduce your budget, but allocate appropriately. If you reduce the budget, what happens? If you reduce the budget because it's giving the results, you will also reduce your potential future earnings. So you have to invest. And online advertising doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because you're not giving that necessary things. You're not giving that necessary food. So you have to invest in that. You have to have a good team for that. You have to have a good financial support for that. Seventh one, no one uses online reviews to determine healthcare reviews. Consumer wants quality care. Consumer wants quality care, and not by cycling through doctors in their spare time. Up to 62% of people admit it. They say that they are looking for doctors. Their first step involves online review. According to software advice, for better results, you can partner with digital agency who understand how online reviews can break or make your practice. So the seventh myth is that, I will again repeat. Nowadays, 62% people, instead of going and visiting the doctors, they are taking online reviews. And that the software is helping them. For better results, you can partner with digital agency. If you are into that pharma or you are into that doctor line, you can partner with that to understand how online reviews can be really effective or it can break your practice. Even the doctors are implementing that. Eighth myth, social media posts are going to annoy your audience. If you post randomly and too much, then audience may unfollow you. I'm continuously posting. Every day I'm posting. Oh my God, his post has come now. There is always a कपाळावर आठ्या येतात आपल्या. अरे काय त्याच्यात काही क्रिएटिव्ह आहे का? So if you post randomly and too much, then your audience can unfollow you. But if each post is drafted with mission, with purpose, your team, your passion, your influence, then it will perform exactly as intended by influencing people to consider your brand. Are you getting my point? So people want to see your brand in all its humanity. Bring in a soft self approach and don't always generate posts to sell a certain procedure or praise a new technology. So many times the posts are so touching. It's not always about promoting. It is not always about selling. It is not always about praising. So social media posts are going to either annoy your audience. If you keep on posting random posts, if you keep on posting irrelevant posts, if there is no ability, as I told in before, If there is no core in that, everybody will unfollow you. Many will unfollow you. Ninth one, followed. 8, 6, 7, 8, followed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 9. Should I go to the 9th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 9, digital marketing only matters to millennial patients. Digital marketing is for everyone. It's not for only millennial. Just because your audience may be older doesn't mean they aren't scrolling through FB, they aren't scrolling through WhatsApp, they aren't scrolling through Instagram, etc. According to social media use in 2018 report conducted by the Pew Research Center, social media use is across all ages. Almost 80% of people in ages between the age group of 30 to 49 admit to use social media. Around 65% of people between the age of 50 to 65 use social media, and almost 40% above age group of 65 and above use it. So digital media includes emails, what media includes your campaigns, where almost 9 out of 10 people above 45 and older admit that they see it regularly. And according to July 2015 statistic posted by statistician, it says that. So all nowadays, the entire generation, my mother who is 82 years old, she is so savvy. She is paying all her bills, everything online. She is, every day her WhatsApp messages are full. At the age of 82, she is so active. So now people of all ages are using social media. First, she was scared. She didn't know how to operate the mobile. We gave her an Apple mobile and she said, my God, it's too complicated. So we gave her a Samsung mobile, which was simple in functions. So this is how it is. Everybody is now on social media. So digital marketing only matters to millennial patients. It's not the thing. It is across all ages. And young generation though is now the kids see the students who are in 4th standard, 5th standard. They are completely on social media. Their lectures are happening on social media. Next. 10th one, taking videos of experts to share on social channels can cost a fortune. Really is not true. If you have the marketing funds allocated towards video connect and can spend on high quality videos, do it. Do it. But if you want to produce videos at low cost using iPhone or a tripod and mic, go for it. It's ultimately what suits your pocket. Accordingly to statistics shared by one of the Syndicast, half of the marketers suggest that videos have best return on investment. Make video work for your brand. Make videos work for your brand and do it on your own budget terms, whatever your budget are. If you have a huge budget, go for it. If whatever your pocket affords, go for it. And videos really work. Okay, it's not that it can cost you a fortune. It depends on how it suits your pocket. Myth 11, we will go to the myth 11. Bots and live chats will distract customers. Bots are normally used to automate certain tasks, meaning they can run without specific specific instructions from humans. They can immediately engage with website visitors, asking them leading questions, and then work for their situation, for their solutions. So for quick and quick answers, bots meets the speed of the customers. So it's like giving you answers without human interference. Then is customer, then the 12th one is search engine optimization. SEO, search engine optimization. Search engine optimization should be considered part of the overall marketing framework. And just like your approach to shifting ad budgets and optimizing social channels with solid content, regard SEO as a piece of puzzle that will change, shape, and work as per the latest needs and wants to the market. What SEO fits, search engine optimization fits now for your practice will not fit later on, because everything keeps on changing. So you have to keep on changing as per the latest needs, as per the latest technologies. So everything is changing continuously, and that is a marketing fact. Followed? So that was about all the 12 myths of your marketing. Now we will come to customer co-creation. 12 myths understood everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
नाही, फक्त तुझ्याकडनं मेल मला कळतंय, बाकी
Yes, ma'am.
काही प्रॉब्लेम आहे? Okay, should I go to the next
No
one?
problem, ma'am.
Okay, great. Customer co-creation, should I go for?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Customer co-creation म्हणजे काय? Call Maushi. Customer co-creation requires contribution from external parties, be it customers, stakeholders, online crowd, forums, etc. So it is a contribution of everybody. It can be your friends, it can be your customers, it can be your stakeholders, it can be your online crowd. So co-creation often utilizes the opinions and ideas from a customer base, bringing fresh and innovative concepts of business. In the experience design world, which I have given the point, in the experience design world, co-creation is not about, crowding. It's not about the crowdsourcing ideas, but it is about the process of face-to-face active collaboration for the improvement or innovation of mutually beneficial products, services, or experiences. Agreed? You followed this?
Yes,
Means
ma'am.
what? Means what? It is co-creation. It is the co-creation of collaboration of the innovation of mutually beneficial products, mutually beneficial services, mutually beneficial experiences. And that's how the entire co-creation happens. So companies looking to start co-creating should look to an outside firm to help recruit and coordinate the entire process. Tell her to wait here. The entire process. That is the customer co-creation. Customer co-creation, they can ask you the short note also if you have offline. And before also I had given you co-creation, na? What I had told you about co-creation before. Do you remember? What was it? I told you something about co-creation, communities. होतं का? Communal activation. Haven't I told you? See, you are forgetting, huh, guys? Haven't I told you? It's inclusiveness, co-creation, currency, communal activation, and conversion. Haven't I told you that? You just refer your slides. आता शांत बसलेत सगळे, बोलतच नाहीयेत. You followed what is co-creation? So co-creation involves everybody in it. Next is conversion rate optimization and user experience, which I am showing you the slide. Okay, CRO is the process. What is CRO? Conversion occurs when a visitor completes a desired goal. Conversion happens when the consumer, visitor completes a desired goal, such as filling form or making a purchase. Right? In order to track conversions, conversion rate and cost per conversion, you need to make sure about conversion tracking. You have to be sure about conversion tracking. So CRO, that is conversion real optimization, is the process of improving your conversion rate. Every digital business wants to build a brand that attracts more customers. They want to increase their profitability, wants to convert them and turn people into brand advocates. You know, I like the brand, so I'm telling to somebody else, so you also buy that brand. Nike is a good brander, please go for it. Puma is a good brander, please go for it. Oh, you want this and this? Oh, go to Godamura or go to what? Any high design course. So you are promoting the brand. So that's where CRO and UX is user experience optimization comes into play. Agreed? All of you? So CRO is closely
Yes.
tied. So CRO is closely tied to attracting new customers, and UXO, that is user experience, is closely tied to creating a more human experience that will engage consumers with the brand. UX will engage consumers with the brand, and conversion rate optimization is about attracting new customers. This is the basic thing you remember. So there are two ways to apply user thinking. So we can learn them what to optimize. The first way is to have an expert catch low hanging fruits. Low hanging fruits. And the second is to gather customer feedback. Now with UX, that is user experience expert, you can fix many low hanging fruit issues. Now what is this low hanging fruit issues? Low hanging fruit issues like people are not clicking that call to action button because the website has some major issues, or it may be people are not understanding the value of products. So first fix these issues, the bottom end issues, the low hanging fruits. Website chalat nahi hai. The website itself is not working. Oh, forget it. Let it happen. Let it go. So first fix these issues before conversion optimization. Before conversion optimization techniques, CRO. This is called user experience review or UX review. The findings of the review are built into report that ranks solutions in terms of their urgency and importance is given to the product. And this is more important for the developers. The development team, the developing team has to be really good, and they should understand what are the issues which are coming. So to get your own UX review, user experience review, there are a variety of agencies and freelancers who can assist you. And second way is to take the customer feedback for UX. That is the second way. Now let's talk about the basic tools and techniques of CRO and the effect of customer. CRO is, what is CRO? Conversion rate optimization on branding. Let's talk about the basic tools of this and the effect of CRO on branding. Now, what is the first tool of CRO's expert arsenal? It is the analytics. The CRO's expert arsenal is analytics. With analytics, we can gain useful insights like, is the customer leaving quickly the site? Are they willing to provide their email? Are they need to continue conversations? Are they using the conversations? Are they online? Are they exploring your site? Once you pinpoint these plus points and the dropping points, you know which areas to focus on. Agreed? A/B testing copy, imaginary, call to actions, and decide a value proposition to decide which combination leads to highest conversions. Think permutations and combinations. If I click this, okay, I'm getting this. If I do this, I'm getting this. So use different combinations that will give you highest conversions. The goal is to create more compelling content and a seamless flow to engage more people to have conversions. So now with CRO successfully underway, it's time to revisit user experience, which focuses on improving customer metrics like active users, frequency of users, number of shares. Then repeat purchases there. Are they repeating your purchase? Perceived ease of use, or it is too complicated site. Okay, so like CRO, UX starts with analytics like Google Analytics for website and Google Analytics for mobile apps. So in analytics, we want to look at acquisitions, behavior, and flow data. Followed? Everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
So customer.
Yes, ma'am.
So customers needs to understand this. So conversion rate optimization comes into play. So first fill up all these things and then you get that. Now we will go to the next one. ह्याच्यात काय आहे? The goal is to create more compelling content. The goal is to have the continuous information. The goal is to have people having more conversions. That is very necessary. And now with CRO successfully underway, it's time to revisit user experience, which focuses on customer metrics, like who are active users, who are frequent users, who have shared the sites, who are the repeated customers, how well is the perceived use. It is for mobile apps is necessary. In analytics, we want to look at acquisitions, behavior, and flow data. So acquisition is the conversion information as to how people arrive at a website. Behavior includes engagement information such as bounce rates, time on task, downloads, active users, frequency of use, etc. Flow data maps out the typical flow of pages that are commonly accessed, such as home page, product, cart, purchase, etc. So each company has different metrics. Each company has different metrics that they prioritize along with a goal to reach, such as less than 40% bounce back. So finding out what pages and flows are low performing and which are the problem areas, etc. So that's how you have to identify it. And that's how you have to increase the flow to your sites. Agreed, all of you? Followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Has everyone followed? Any
Yes.
clarification on this? Now we will move to the last point, influential digital subcultures. Should I go? Should I move to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Or should we wait?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Then influential digital subcultures. Influential digital subcultures includes whom? You all, youth, women, netizens are said to be lucrative market, potential market for digital spectrum. Okay, youth can influence the older generation in terms of latest trends in music, in food, in sports, in fashion, in technology, in so many things. I take help of my young niece. Oh, she tells me, this restaurant is good, mommy, we should go there. I said, okay, I don't know it because we are at home most of the time. But the young generation tells us, oh, this mobile is good in the market. It has this latest features. Okay, yes. From the young students, we learn so many things. That is from the youth. So youth can influence, believe me, the older generation in terms of so many things. And now there are so many, there is a lot of material on the site also on this influential digital subcultures. You can go and take the points. I am just briefing you with the highlighting you with all the points. The detailing part, you do it on your own, okay? Next is women, the moms and housewives. What they do, they have ample of time. So they keep on doing research over the internet on products and they compare with the other, what you can say, with what all new products have come in the market. So when a woman, she goes to a mall, she keeps on going to every shop. Yeah, this women have the habit, you know. Oh, let me go through all the shopping malls and then let me decide what to buy. And the guys don't have. They liked it, they pick it, they go. But women always have that habit. A woman, when she goes to a mall, she keeps on going to every shop, compare prices, and then decides which product to buy. So this is how the research on Net2. As a result, their counterparts and relatives trust their instincts and trust their decisions when purchasing something because of their attention to detailing. Hey, this is not there, huh? And in this product, this is there. And others also trust because she has a lot of time, because she's searching so much on the internet. So that's how, that's about women. And then if I talk about netizens, what are netizens? They are the internet savvy potential brand keepers and ambassadors, netizens. Because most of the time they are on the net. They are creators, they are collectors, they are critics in the technographic ladder. Because they put action and consume whatever they find online. They keep on passing the information. They can be good advocates, they can be bad advocates, you know, they can be potentially lovers or haters of your brand, and it can affect your online engagement completely, the netizens. So you have to be careful in that. And now we will come to followed youth, women, netizens. These are the subcultures, influential digital subcultures. You can go and you can search and you can write many things in detail about it if a short note comes in influential digital subcultures. Then I touch the point of negative advocacy versus positive advocacy and what is promoted advocacy. Okay. Now advocacy. Now what is advocacy? Advocacy is a new concept in marketing and it is also known as word of mouth. It has become a new definition of loyalty during the past decade. Example, Uber's advocacy marketing. Uber's approach to advocacy marketing mirrors your basic how loyal you are and reward programs. So which makes it easy for the company to identify and leverage its customer advocates. The brand offers the program to both riders and drivers, allowing customer advocacy to help grow both segments of his business. Followed, Uber is a wonderful example of marketing advocacy, branding advocacy. By simply sharing your code as a rider or driver, you can give a friend a discount in Uber, correct, no? And receive your own. You can give discount. Uber has made this refer a friend program seamless and incredibly easy to use. So it's built right into the Uber app and benefit both the parties. So it is so good. And that's why people are promoting. It's a brand advocacy. The most famous measurement of brand advocacy is arguably the Net Promoter Score designed by Frederick Richel. He argues that there are three categories of customers. The most famous measurement of brand advocacy is arguably the Net Promoter Score designed by this Frederick Richel. he argues that there are three categories of customers with regard to their attitude toward a brand promoter who recommends the brand, the passives who are neutral. You know, the brand promoter who will always be loyal to me, who are always supporting me. The passives who are neutral, and the detractors who are unlikely to recommend the brand. So the net promoter score is the percentage of promoters subtracted from the percentage of detractors. Followed? The net promoter score is the percentage of promoters subtracted from the percentage of detractors. The simple subtractions might, leave behind some insights. You never know. And when a brand stays true to its DNA and consistently pursue its target segment, the brand polarizes the market. Some become lovers of the brand, while some becomes haters of the brand. Some are passives, neutral. But in context of connectivity, negative advocacy might not necessarily be a bad thing. So many times it happens that a negative advocacy leads to trigger a positive advocacy. Oh, that person has given such a feedback, I have to improve. So it can lead to a positive advocacy. We argue here that without negative advocacy, positive advocacy remains dormant. There are alienated customers who are individuals who have poor opinion of certain organization, products, who have certain bad opinions or no opinion, or who have no opinions about certain brands, and they speak and act as critics and detractors. I don't know about the brand, I don't know about that product, and still I'm doing a negative advocacy. So there are critics, there are detractors. So they communicate negatively of these brands to others. So poor customer service is often the breeding ground for negative advocacy. Now, some products I had ordered from a very famous brand online. And it's a very famous brand. I'm telling you my case. And the package had come, inside whatever the product was broken. So, though it's a good brand, though when I go offline shopping, when I go in the malls and I purchase that brand, it is really good and it stays for a long time. But when it came online, everything was broken inside. So, what I will be in this? Negative advocacy will happen. No, don't buy this online, please. Unless the shop opens, then you go and then you buy that product. Otherwise, it would have been a positive advocacy. Agreed, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think we have covered
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
points. We have covered all the points here. Now questions, discuss. I have thought about the probable questions which can come, discuss the paradoxes of marketing to the connected customers. Then it can be various myths which can come on, paradoxes, myths. Then advocacy, just now we spoke about the positive, negative, and promoted advocacy. I believe you all know what are the different subcultures, digital subcultures, right? What is marketing 4.0? What is reverse innovation, co-creation, brand conversion? What is CRO? What is UX optimization? All these things can come. Are you okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
So should we end the first chapter here?
Yes, ma'am.
What all you require from me now? It's 5 minutes for the lecture to break off. So what do you require from me now? MCQs we will be definitely giving you. Don't worry on that part. But have you followed all the points? They are very easy and they are very simple. You are digitalized generation, guys, isn't it? You are all digital savvy. So much you all know. So these are the typical summary things, the theoretical things, and of course the practical things which I have expressed in this session. And I believe you have followed it. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me right now. Anybody or okay everything? Speak now. Come on, let's switch on your this thing mobiles. Where is it? There are participants. Come on, switch on your audios, videos and audios. Miss you all. All okay? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. I'm happy. So I hope all the points are clear to everyone. If there are any questions, anything which is coming in your mind or you want to say something, you are most welcome. Rakshanda, anything? Or you were okay with that? Mihal, Abhay?
No, ma'am.
All good,
Everything
ma'am.
is okay.
Okay. So now the next session which we are going to conduct, I will let you know when we will have the next chapter opening. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, we will have the next chapter. I think the last 2 chapters have been taken care of by Ragini madam of marketing 4.0.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. You're going to take only 3 chapters.
I am
right?
going to take 3 chapters, first 3 chapters. Right? So first chapter is over. Now we will go to the next chapter in next week.
So, ma'am,
Second
is this
test. Huh?
ma'am, is this possible to share the slides for
Yeah.
the first?
I see the entire recording is shared to you, no? I will share you the slides also, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Okay.
ma'am.
I will share you all the slides, but you have to modify it. You just don't have to say whatever is there on the side. You have to put more points into that. You have to put more additions through
Okay, ma'am.
sites, through books and all. I have touched all the points. I have clarified all the things. So detailing part, all the detailing, you cannot just say negative advocacy versus positive advocacy. I have given you the brief. What do you mean by negative advocacy? What do you mean by positive advocacy? What is brand promoted advocacy? But in that, you should know what to write. Give the examples of negative advocacy. Give the examples of positive advocacy. So many examples are there. So many. So put those examples into that. Promoted advocacy. Agreed? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo. So should we end the session here and we will, Ajyotikar madam will tell you when the next session will be. It will be in the next week. And I think we will have the same timing, 10:30 or 11:30. That's it. 11:30 will be suitable, more suitable for me. Is that okay with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So all the best. And you are preparing for with other subjects also?
Yes, ma'am.
Because your exams are coming very fast. Huh? How are your vivas? You did well?
They were good, ma'am. Yes,
Good, ma'am.
Good. I want you, so here I want here to be a positive advocacy doing from you all. Are you going to do the positive advocacy about your own brand of matrix?
Yes, ma'am.
Full gear I want, okay? Chalo, thank you so much all of you. Let's break off.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.